What I learned from 100 Days of Rejection. When I was 6 years old, I received my gift. My first grade teacher had the brilliant idea. She wanted us to experience receiving gifts but also learning the virtue of complimenting each other. So she had all of us come to the front of the classroom and she bought all of the gifts and started in the corner. And she said, "Why don't we stand here and compliment each other? If you hear your name called, go to pick up your gift and sit down." What a wonderful idea, right? What could go wrong? Well, there are 40 of us to start with, and every time I hear something called, I will give up the hardest each year. And then there were 20 people left, and 10 people left, and 5 left, and 3 left. I was one of them. And the compliment stopped. Well, at the moment I was crying, and the teacher was freaking out, and she was like, "Hey, would you anyone dancing like this piece of paper?" No one? Okay. Why don't you go get a gift and sit down and behave it next year so someone might say something nice about you? Well, I'm not describing this way. Probably know I remember this really well. But I don't know who felt worse that day. Was that me or the teacher? She must realize she turned a cheerleader event into a public day for 6 years old. And without the humor and way to see people get roasted on TV was funny. There's nothing funny about that. So there was four version of me. And I was dying to avoid being that situation again, to get rejected in public again. That's one version. That fast for 8 years. The Bill Gates came to my hometown Beijing, China to speak, and I saw his message. I love with the guy. As on the one I do now. Then I wrote a letter to my family, acknowledging them. By age 25, I was biggest company in the world. The company will buy Microsoft. I totally embraced this idea of comparing the world of nation, right? And I didn't know my some I did the letter. And here it is. I don't have to reduce this through. This is also bad handwriting, but I highlighted some keywords. You get the idea. So there was another version of me, one to conquer the world. Well, then 2 years later, I was presented the opportunity to come to the United States. I jumped on it, and because they were the best to get right, I thought they was start of my important journey. Then fast forward another 14 years, I was sorry. Nope, I didn't build the company. I didn't even start. I was actually a market manager for a Fortune 500 company. That felt I was stuck. I was stagnant. Why is that? What is a 14-year-old for the weather? It's not because they try. It's because every time I had one new idea, every time I wanted to try something new, even at work, I wanted to make the proposal. I wanted to speak up in front of people in a group. I felt that it was comfortable better between the 14 years old and the 60-year-old. One I wanted to compare the world, make the difference. One other was afraid of rejection. And every time, the 6 years old won. And this fear even persisted after I started my own company. I started my own company when I was sorry. If we want to be a big get start, we would strength. When I was an entrepreneur, I was presented with investment opportunity, and then I was turned down. That rejection hurt me. It hurt me so bad that I wanted to quit right there. But then I thought, hey, would you guys to quit after a single investment rejection? Would any successful entrepreneur quit like that? No way. And this is where the click for me. Okay, I can build a better company, I can build a better team or a better product. One thing for sure, I am like a better leader. I got a better person. I cannot let the 6-year-old to keep directing my life anymore. I have to put him back in this place. So this is where I want a line for to have. Google my friend. I started how to overcome this fear of rejection. I came with a bunch of psychology articles with the fear and pain couldn't company from, and I came up with a bunch of rather impressive articles about don't take it personally, you overcome it. Who does know that? But what if it's just so scary? Then I found this website by luck. It's called rejectiontherapy.com. Rejection therapy was just a game invented by this comedy entrepreneur named this James company, and basically idea is for 30 days you go out and look for rejection. And every day get rejected is something, and about the end, you distance yourself from the pain. And I love the idea. I say, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and then I feel myself getting rejected 100 days. And I came up with my own rejection ideas, and I made a video vlog out of it. And so here's what I did. This is what the vlog looked like. Day 1. Bought $100 from a stranger. So this was where I went to where I was working. I came downstairs, so this big guy sitting behind the desk. He looks like the security guard, so I just approached him, and I was walking at the longest walking of my life. I was here, the back of my neck standing up. I was sweating, and my heart was pounding. And I got there and said, "Hey, sorry, can I borrow $100 from you?" And he was like that. It's like, "No, why?" And I just, "No, I'm sorry." Then I turned around to run away. I felt so embarrassed. But because I feel myself, so that night I was watching myself getting rejected. I just saw how scary I was. I looked like this. The kids in Sixth Sense, I saw that people. But I saw this guy. He wasn't that menacing. He was a charming, lovely guy. And even asked me why. In fact, he invited me to explain myself. And I could say many things. I could explain. I couldn't negotiate it. I didn't do any of that. All I did was run. I thought, wow, this is like the Microsoft of my life. Every time I felt this slight rejection, I was run as fast as I could. And you know what? The next day, no matter what happens, I'm not going to run. I'm staying engaged. Day 2, request a burger refill. As well, when I finished, want to burger join, I finished lunch and went to the cashier and said, "How can I burger refill?" He was all confused. "What's a burger refill?" I said, "Well, just blinker of a burger." And he said, "Sorry, we don't do burger refill, man." So this is where rejection happens. I could run, but I stayed. I said, "Well, I love your burger. I love your rejoin. And if you guys do a burger refill, I would love your guys more." He said, "Okay, well, I tell the manager about it. My man wants to do it, but sorry, can do this day." Then I left. And by the way, I don't think Sarah done burger refill. I think it's still there. But the life and death feeling I was feeling first time was no longer there. That's because I stayed engaged, because I did run. I said, "Why, great, I'm ready to learn things." Great. And then day 3, getting Olympic donuts. This is where my life's turning upside down. I want Krispy Kreme. This is donut shop, mainly sells surfing part of the United States. I'm sure they have summer too. And I waited. Can you make the donut feels like Olympic symbols? Basically, you introduce 5 donuts together. I must always do it. The donut maker took me so seriously. So she put out the paper, turning it down, and color and the rings, and said like, "How can I make this?" And then 15 minutes later, she came down the box looked like Olympic rings. And I was touched, and I just couldn't believe it. And that video got over 5 million views on the YouTube. The words couldn't be believed either. Because of that, I was in newspapers, talk show, and everything. I became famous. And now people started to email to me and saying, "Why do you doing that some?" Fame and notoriety did not do anything to me. When I wanted to learn and change myself. So I turned the rest of my hundreds of rejection into this playground. into this research project. I want to learn what is it I can learn. And then I learned a lot of things, discovered so many secrets. For example, I found if I just run, if I got rejected, I could actually turn a no into a yes. A magic word is why. So one day, I went to a friend's house. I had a flower in my hands. I said, I'm going to hit. And he said, no. But before he could leave, I said, hey, can I know why? He said, well, I have a this dog that was sick of anything put in the backyard. I don't want to waste my flower. If I do this, I close to talk to Connie. She's love flowers. So that's what I did. I was across now to Connie's door, and she was so happy to see me. And a half an hour later, there's a flowering kind of factory. But how that left after the initial rejection I was those is because the guy didn't trust me, because I'm crazy, because and dress up looks good. It's none of those. Because when I offered not fit what he wanted, and he trusts me enough to offer me a referral using the term. I converted referral. Then one day I also learned that I can actually say certain things and maximize my chance to get a yes. For example, one day I wanted to Starbucks and asked manager, hey, can I have Starbucks grater? Yes, what's a grater? I asked, do you know warm-up graders? You know, the people who says hi to before you need to walk the store and make the sales start. Basically, I want to give a warmer experience to Starbucks customers. Well, I'm not sure that's a good thing actually. Actually, I'm pretty sure they're bad things. And he was like, oh, yeah, this is how they listen. I'm not sure he was hearing me, not sure. Then I asked him, is that weird? Yeah, you really man. But as soon as he said that, he's holding miniature chains and says he's putting all the down on the floor. And he said, yeah, you can do this, just get too weird. So for the next hour, I was Starbucks greeter, hi to every customer that walked in and gave the holiday cheers. By the way, I wanted to increase rejection don't be a greeter. It was a little boring. But then I found I could this because I managed it's weird. I mentioned the doubt he was having, and because I mentioned it's weird, that means I was weird. That means I was actually thinking just like him, seeing this as a weird thing. And again, I learned if I mention something that people might have, before I ask a question, people gain the trust. People more likely to say yes to me. And then I learned I could fulfill my life dream by asking. You know, I came from a foreign generation of teachers, and my grandma was always talk to me, hey, Joy, I can do anything you want, but be great till you can become teacher. But I want to be entourage I didn't, but it's on my dream to actually teach something. So I said, what if I just teach the college class? So I lived after our university title options professor and can I teach you class? I didn't get worried for first couple of times, but because I did run, I kept doing it, and the first try, the professor was very impressed. It was no as done this before. I came in prepared with the PowerPoint and my lesson. It was why I can use this. But when you come back in 2 months, if it's in my curriculum, 2 months later, I was teaching a class. This is me. Probably can see this bad picture. You know, sometimes you get risked by lighting, you know. But why? When I finished this 10th class, I walked out crying because I thought I could fill my life during by simply asking. I thought I was applying all those things, having a great entrepreneur, get a PhD to teach. But no, I just asked, and I could teach. And then in the picture we can see I quoted Martin Luther King Jr. Why? Because in my research I found that people who really change the world, who change the way we live and the way we think, and the people who are the miniature was often violent rejection. People like Martin Luther Jr., like Mahatma Gandhi, or even just Christ. These people did not let rejection define them. Did not let rejection, after rejection, define themselves. And they embrace rejection. And we don't have to those people to learn about rejection. And in my case, rejection was my curse, was my boogeyman. It's bothered me my whole life. because I'm already running away from it. Then I started embracing them. I thundered into the biggest gift in my life. I started teaching people how to turn rejection into opportunities. I used my blog, I used my talk, I used my book just publishes, and I was even building technology to help people overcome their fear in rejection. We look at rejecting life when you're making the first obstacle or failure. Consider possibility. Don't run. If you just embrace them, it might become your gift as well.